Alright, welcome back to another episode of the TR7 Tibby. As you can see, I've got the roof up today. Just thought I'd get her out. She's been under the tonneau for quite some time, and she's a bit tight getting up. She's in good nick. I just wanted to stretch it out to get rid of any divots and stuff in the roof, see if there was anything that needed doing. She's fine. The windows, you know, they give them a good clean. Still has the original sticker in the window, which is nice. Bernard Myers and Co. Walton Street near Somerset, which corresponds with the number plate front and rear, which is nice. And it's got an original Z-Bart sticker. Those of you of my age know a lot about Z-Bart. And one thing I did forget when putting the roof up, there's two levers on the 7, which are here and over the other side. And when I managed to get that one down, this lever was still fully open and it wedged itself in there, so I had to unpop it again, just bring the lever forward slightly and then reclamp one end and then do this one, and then nice and situ. It's nice how these are chrome plated, and yeah. And when the roof is up, I have taken it for a test drive because I've still got I'll talk about the coil issue in a minute. She does rattle and shake, you know, a lot more I remember. But then again, it is what it is, I guess. And yeah, so I'm going to take you on an extended run because, like I say, I have resolved the coil issue now, I think, and yeah, so I got the new coil, which is a nice Lucas coil, 12 volt 3 ohm, with the new illumination system, and the voltage from the opto feedback is good. I checked all the points today. Sorry, the distributor points, they're cleaned. I checked the gaps on the spark plugs and also did a compression test, and each cylinder was way above 120 psi, so absolutely chuffed with all that. And when the engine's warm, the pressure on the hoses is great, the water pump is running fine. Temperature in the engine is pretty much midway, just slightly up I suppose, but it's a bit cooler today, and I'm going to see how she does on an extended run. And yeah, I should be taking you with me, and we'll see how she goes. I won't play the whole thing, but I plan to go into Cornwall, and yeah, my wife is currently looking after the grandkids, and she's working at Plymouth Argyle today. There's a ABBA tribute band there, ABBA-esque, so she's doing that from this afternoon. So I'm a bit spoilt for my time at the moment, so yeah, I'm just tootling about. So with that, I shall get her out and load up the camera, and away we go. Okay, see you in a bit. I just had to check the camera. I pulled it up from the cigar lighter just to make sure I was getting the recording, because I can't see anything from the front of the camera. So I don't know if it was a recording or not, but I can hear it when it turns off and on, so I can safely think it's actually recording now. Oh, still got my indicator on. So she runs quite nicely, but I've got, as I said, I've got the roof up now, just to take out all the creases from it. I've washed the windows. They're not in too bad a condition, and the beauty is with the back window on this roof is you can unzip it, so you can get access to the inside of the windows on the hood easy. I'm in third gear now, just pulling about 2000 RPM, and she's running quite nicely, but the steering is something to get used to. This is really not as pointy
But the turning circle on this car is fantastic. It's a lot better than my Jag, even though the Jag is reported to have a great turning circle for the car that it is. But I find that this one, the turning circle on it is fantastic. Moving us out of the garage, you know. Here we go. Oh, you know, I'll lean a bit. Well, I'm not going to make those lights. Just take it easy. So I'm off down into Cornwall. I left my mug down at the detailing place, so I just asked if he's there. I'll just give an extended run to this car. I was out earlier and I think the coil's behaved itself, the new Lucas coil. So it's all worth doing. I suppose for the amount of money it's cost me, about 160, 170 £170, and my time, it's not too bad in the big scheme of things. And it always helps to renew this sort of stuff as well, to keep it on top and running. So she's just ticking over slightly, you know, about 900 RPM at the moment, slightly high. So if I pull away gingerly as she's under load, she's pulling nicely. So the integrity of the spark, I think, is quite nice. Original not 60 times on this were about, I think going back then, probably about 9 seconds, 9 to 10 seconds, certainly not much better than that, if I remember, with a top speed of about 110 miles an hour. So the 2 litre engine is roughly about 100 and so brake horsepower. And when you consider the modern cars had a 1.4 Astra Sport, that was 100 brake as well, just about, from a 1.4 litre 16 valve, and it would easily do 125. So just give it a bit of a boost in fourth gear into fifth. This is nice cruising that way. So I think the camera keeps turning off because the connection is because there's vibration through the car. She's popping out of the cigar lighter. I think so. I think you're on recording now, but not to worry. Into third. Swing it round. Oh, that is a bit disconcerting there with the lean. So there's been no upgrade to the suspension done apart from the rear trailing arms, which I put poly bushes in. But apart from that, it's all standard. Brakes are original. Give it a bit of gas into fifth. About 70 miles an hour now. Just take this fuel. Lorry there. As he's driving nice and smoothly on a good road. Bridge in a minute. And there we are. It is absolutely chocker. Everybody's on their way to Cornwall. Probably got 1 lane open going in, 2 coming out. Yeah. I'm hoping that because I'm in such an old car, people would let me in. Got some parts there which I've used on the dash. I should put them in the glove box. Now the passenger window is slightly dropped. That's why you can hear something probably coming from out there. Very mechanical, this car. It feels mechanical. It smells mechanical. And you hear that, the whining of the gears. 5-speed gearbox. This was the Rover box that the British Leyland put in the end to get rid of, to change it from the 4-speed box, which was the Marina box, which wouldn't really last much past 33,000 miles. But the gearing was slightly better, and it would appear much faster in the 5th gear than the 5th gear, sorry. Oh, we've got 2 lanes open, that's good. I can honestly say it's getting quite warm in here. We are just going over the Tamar Bridge, and what you can't see alongside the Tamar Bridge is the King Alfred Bridge, which locally is known, which is the railway bridge, which is locally known as Brunel's Bridge. He did build it, and but it was named after King Alfred, or the King Albert. Yeah, King Albert. Queen Victoria's husband is the King Albert. Yeah. Alfred. Did I say Alfred? Albert. The bridge isn't toll free, it's just gone up to £2.60. My word. They're drifting along quite nicely. I'm on my way down to Callington. The lights on. I think they're working. I think they're on. Better than she did. I don't want to push it. Bear in mind, I haven't taken this car out for such a long run since doing all the rear end, so I will at some point jack it back up again and make sure everything's still torqued down, I suppose. camping, I suppose. That's a couple of screws you can hear rolling around there. Maybe new to us. Get them out. Yeah, box. It is getting rather warm in here, I must say. These were available with air conditioning, but it was mainly for the American market. I couldn't tell you what the price would have been at the time of the sale of this car. In fact, I'm not even sure you could have spec'd the aircon in a TR7 back in the 1970s and 80s. I'm sure with the TR8 and the limited number of sales they had in the UK, you could have done. But by then it was all too late, the damage had been done. A lot of people did change these cars over to the V8, the Rover SD1. I've still got the original engine, the 2 litre, which you've seen on previous videos. And I think it's quite a good, strong unit. The downside to the engine is getting the head off. The studs actually, they're steel studs going into an alley block. They just corrode in. Many videos on YouTube, people having trouble getting the heads off, such as Henry's Garage, Red's Garage, I think is another chap. Yeah, let's get on this mountain bend here. It's like it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun. We don't want any mechanical failures here. Engine temperature is just slightly up. I'm hoping this extended run might get rid of some gremlins or bring some up. I don't know if I'm recording, but I'll just speak a little bit more. What can I say? I've owned this car since 2007. Just used to get it out at April time, something like that every year. Excuse me. Get it MOT'd, taxed. It's MOT exempt now and tax exempt, and I have done the historic certification with the DVLA. And I did get a letter from the DVLA saying I have to tax the vehicle every year or keep it sold. I'm not sure why there's this. It's a bit of red tape, I guess, but it's a £0 bill, so you don't pay anything for it. Slightly coughing there. She's pick up nicely again. When the engine was cold this morning, I think I said in there previously, I did do a compression check, and it was all 4 cylinders way above 120, so happy news. didn't brake the car. As in braking. There's a guy behind me, he's keeping well back. I don't know why. My brakes aren't that good, my friend. We're coming into not Launceston, it's a 30 mile an hour zone. Rain today earlier on, and first rain for a few weeks, so everything's going to be going like Billy over today. Much needed, I guess. I'm wondering if she's been a bit starved of fuel. The spark plugs were dry as a bone. They looked a bit clean, so we could be running a bit lean. If they're clean or lean. Oops. Down the road. I might put the roof down coming back because it's getting quite warm in here. It's really nice. You can see behind us all the countryside and then a bit of the view of the sea. Get a nice farmyard smell at the moment. On the TR7 convertible, when you put the roof up, people used to forget in the day there's a thin strip across the centre of the roof. It has a velcro strap, and you wrap that velcro strap around that hood, and when you take it off you're supposed to take the velcro apart, but what it does is when you're driving it keeps the roof down, and what you used to see is some TR7s, the roof would be bubbling. You'd have a nice big bubble as the air's going through the car, and you know, they hadn't got their centre strap, you know, with the hood tied down. Yeah, I think it was I'm not sure if it was by design initially or something added on afterwards, thinking, oh, the roof is got a nice bubble on the top. About the 7 was that which attracted me to them back in the day, was that a lot of the cars you drove stripe Dolomites, the Spitfires, X19s. You were right up against the windscreen, and although there wasn't anything wrong with that, it was just you were right there with the steering wheel right there. It makes it good for driving, I suppose, if you're tooling it about. But for me, I like that distance between myself and the windscreen with this large dash here across the top, and the amount of leg room you have, and especially for the passenger as well. There's a nice big footwell, and you can put the seat right back or bring the seat forward and then incline the seat back, and it makes it for a comfortable touring car, really, or Grand Tourer. Although I wouldn't call this a Grand Tourer, a Tourer maybe. And back in the day, I did the south of France in a converted Grinnell TR8 that I had. I mean, that thing just rusted from the inside out, that thing. It was supposed to be completely reworked, but hey ho, it was so bad, you know, welding onto rusted panels. What was he thinking? But anyway, you live and learn. That engine was quite sweet, and I did have some great memories in that car. The whole of the south of France was beautiful in a convertible. Not that I do it in this though. And the reason why I picked this car was because it had not been messed about with. Yeah, it had electronic ignition, that's understandable. It's never had any welding done to it whatsoever. It's always been tri-stored, like you see. Like I was saying, it's got the Z-Bar sticker on it, and it's got the Z-Bar all over the car. It's got the original dealer sticker in the window and on the number plates, which ties in with the invoice. It's great. And, like I say, the bodywork needs doing. It's what can you do? Just listen to those shake, rattle and rolls. So now what I'm going to do is I'm in 4th gear now, doing about 1500 RPM. I'm going to put the car under a bit of a load, see if she coughs and splutters, or if she complains. I'm going to drop the revs and then try and add a bit more gas at lower revs. Well, she's picking up. I mean, I am in a 30 zone, so take it easy. So I will put you third, actually. Nearly there. I can hear you thinking, are we there yet? Come on, you can do it, It's lacking in a bit of power, so I might have to tweak the carbs. I think she's just that. I can tell it's just slightly hesitant. Once you get her up to speed, she's running quite nicely. One. So I'll give the people behind us plenty of warning. You really have to drive this car, you really do. You have to be more mindful of what you're going to do next in the anticipation, and then drive the car accordingly within its limits. And we're just coming into Pole Hill, so visiting the park. Jack, Mr. Detailer, is down here where I left my drinking mug. There's his Voxel. Right, so sugar test is I'm going to turn off, and then I'm going to try starting straight again. There you go. So she wouldn't do that with the old coils on. So I think that is a result, and with that, the ignition. Just give it a few revs so the ignition lamp goes out, and that's it. We're done. typical, isn't it? Don't get the car right, it's school clouded over. £3.5? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, I know. I didn't realise there was a 5p in there. That's a bonus. I got 5p up.
Wow.
Thank you, love. Bye bye. I'm just going home. Cheers.